From Awadh, Uttar Pradesh, Tulsidas wandered, after that, for many years. He went to Varanasi. In the early 1500s, in a village near Rajapur in present-day Uttar Pradesh, a boy was born named Rambola. His birth was difficult. His mother died shortly after. His father, who had observed an unlucky planetary configuration on the day of the birth, decided the child was an evil omen. He gave the baby away to a servant woman named Chunya. She raised him in poverty in another village for some years, until she too died. Rambola was now an orphan, perhaps 5 or 6 years old, with no family, no money, and no future. He wandered. He survived by begging. He was picked up at last by a wandering Vaishnav ascetic named Narharidas, who took the boy with him to Ayodhya, the ancient city on the Saryu River, the legendary birthplace of Lord Rama. Narharidas could see that the boy was unusually bright. He taught him to read. Rambola, given a name change to Tulsidas, meaning the servant of the holy Basil, proved to be an extraordinary student. He absorbed the Sanskrit Vedas. He learned the 6 schools of Indian philosophy. He learned the various commentaries on the Mahabharata. He learned, above all, the Valmiki Ramayana, the original Sanskrit Ramayana from the 3rd century BCE, which had been written for, and was now read mostly by, the educated Brahman elite. The common people of North India, especially in the Awadh region, present-day Lucknow, Faizabad, and Allahabad, could not read Sanskrit. They knew of Lord Rama. They worshipped him in their household shrines. But the great story of his life was, for the most part, locked away from them, in a language only the priests could understand. Tulsidas began to notice this. He thought about it for many years. Tulsidas eventually married a young woman named Ratnavali. He loved her, the chronicles say, beyond all reasonable proportion. He could not bear to be away from her for a single day. One time, while he was away on temple business, Ratnavali went to visit her parents in another village. Tulsidas, missing her unbearably, swam across the rain-swollen Yamuna river in a thunderstorm, in the middle of the night, holding on to what he thought was a tree branch but which actually turned out to be a floating corpse, and then he climbed up to her bedroom by hanging onto what he thought was a rope but which actually turned out to be a snake. He appeared, dripping wet, at her bedroom window. Ratnavali looked at him, half embarrassed, half furious. She said, "My lord, if you had even 1/10 of this attachment to the name of Lord Rama, you would already be a saint." Tulsidas froze. He did not answer her. He turned around. He clambered back down. He never returned to her. He never spoke to her again. He had heard, in her one sentence, the great correction of his life. Tulsidas wandered, after that, for many years. He went to Varanasi. He went to Ayodhya. He went to all the major pilgrimage sites. He matured. He thought. He read. He prayed. And at some point in the early 1570s, he made an important decision. He decided that he would write the Ramayana again, but this time, he would write it not in Sanskrit but in Avdi, the spoken language of the people of Uttar Pradesh, the language of the bazaars and the fields and the cattle herds, the language that even the poorest farmer in Awadh could understand. He decided he would not write it as a Brahman scholar. He would write it as if a poor villager was sitting beside him asking what happened next. And he would tell the story so beautifully, so simply, that it would replace, in popular memory, the Sanskrit original. He began writing on the day of Rama Navami, the festival celebrating Lord Rama's birth, in the year 1574. He sat in his hut beside the Saryu river at Ayodhya. He wrote and wrote. He composed, in the simplest Avdhi he could manage, an entirely new retelling of the Ramayana. He called his retelling the Ramcharitmanas, the lake of the deeds of Rama. He worked on it for 2 years, 7 months, and 26 days. He completed it in 1577. It was, when finished, a complete epic of about 12,000 verses, divided into 7 books mirroring the 7 kandas of the original Valmiki Ramayana. The Brahmins of Varanasi were horrified. They said, "He has translated the sacred story into a vulgar tongue." They demanded he be punished. They demanded the manuscript be destroyed. There is a famous story of what happened next. The Brahmins of Varanasi brought Tulsidas to trial in the inner sanctum of the great Vishwanath temple. They demanded the manuscript be placed at the bottom of a stack of holy Sanskrit texts in the temple chamber, and the chamber be locked overnight. In the morning, they would see which text the gods had raised to the top. If the Avdhi Ramayana was at the top, they would accept it as divinely sanctioned. If the Sanskrit texts were on top, they would burn the Avdhi version and excommunicate Tulsidas. The chamber was locked. The night passed. In the morning, the temple was unsealed. The manuscript of the Ramcharitmanas, the legend says, was found on top, resting above all the Sanskrit texts. The Brahmins, defeated, accepted the new Ramayana. Tulsidas was released. The book began to spread. And spread it did. The Ramcharitmanas, written in Avdhi, was accessible to anyone who could speak the spoken languages of North India. It spread across Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, and Delhi, in handwritten copies passed from family to family. People began to memorize its couplets. Children learned them in school. Women sang them while grinding flour. Farmers chanted them while ploughing fields. The Doha, the 2-line rhyming couplet of Avdhi verse that Tulsidas perfected, became the dominant verse form of North Indian literature. By the mid-17th century, the Ramcharitmanas had become more popular than the Valmiki Ramayana. By the 19th century, when the British surveyed Indian religion, they noted that in North India, when people said the word Ramayana, they usually meant the Tulsidas Ramcharitmanas, not the Sanskrit original. The local language version had replaced the Sanskrit one in popular memory. Tulsidas died in Varanasi in 1623. He had lived to be nearly 90. He had written, in his last decades, several other works, the Vinaya Patrika, the Kavitavali, the Geetavali. But it is the Ramcharitmanas that has survived as his great legacy. Today, when an elderly grandmother in Lucknow wants to settle a moral question with a grandchild, she will, more often than not, quote a Tulsidas Doha. When a Hindi film makes a religious gesture, it will quote Tulsidas. When the Indian president gives a speech at Ayodhya, he will quote Tulsidas. When ordinary devotees in North India read the Ramayana at home, they read Tulsidas. The Sanskrit Valmiki Ramayana is honored. It is the original. But it is Tulsidas, the orphan boy who once swam through corpses to reach his wife, the poet who decided to write in Avdhi, who, 4.5 centuries later, is whose words come out of North India's mouth when a North Indian feels devotion. The boy who was given away for an unlucky horoscope ended up writing the most quoted book of the Hindi-speaking world. Tomorrow's story comes from another corner of India. Subscribe to walk with us through the folklore of every region in your language.